Rick, I want to ask you about some recent events that people have taken issue with you. You missed a couple events, especially one here in Boca. Can you explain why you missed these events?
I mean, what's hard, Javier, is you're traveling the state and you're trying to go to as many events as possible. So I wasn't able to make that event because I had another event. I sent my mother. My mom's been traveling with me, and I heard she did a great job. And so, but I'd like to be everywhere. It's just impossible. I'm traveling the states. Yesterday I was in 5 cities. I think today I'm in 3, and tomorrow I'm in 7.
Now, recent news about the Solantic issue. I'm not too familiar with it. Can you explain for the record, tell us exactly what they're fishing for as far as the Solantic issue?
So this is clearly abuse of power by the Attorney General trying to hurt a legitimate company. I'm an investor in that company. Karen Bowling started that company, and they're saying that one doctor who said there might be some issue, who was fired, and they know this, my opponent knows this, was fired for mishandling narcotics, says there might be an issue of how they bill for Medicare when he doesn't even do Medicare billing. And so the Attorney General tries to make it a big issue, trying to say there's some issue there, and there is absolutely none. It's a great company. I mean, think about it. This is a company with over 500 employees. Right? They've driven down the cost of healthcare. If you go there and you have insurance, it's 1/6 the cost of a visit with insurance as compared to the emergency room, and 1/10 and 1/15 without. And if you don't feel well in 3 days, you can come back for free. And so the Attorney General's attacking a company that's doing exactly what we need in healthcare. We need somebody that's out there driving down the cost of healthcare, and Solantic's doing a great job. This is a complete abuse of power, and there's no legitimacy in it.
Now, you have recently completely defined Attorney General McCollum as the establishment candidate. Your recent ad in the newspapers and a recent video, you totally contrast Jim Greer with A.G. McCollum. How effective is this?
Well, it's the truth. I mean, it's basically, look, I'm the outsider, my opponent's the insider. He was back to, Jim Greer tried to make sure that he was the only candidate. Jim Greer designated him as the only governor candidate, raised money for him. My opponent, defended Jim Greer, slowed down the investigation of Jim Greer, said we shouldn't have any transparency in this investigation, and then he's responsible for the investigation when he's probably going to be a witness. I mean, does that make any sense? This is just another abuse of power. Somebody that's a desperate career politician trying to get his next job instead of worrying about your next job.
Right. Now, the RPOF is spending an exorbitant amount of money on this race. They're very well invested in this race. Many fear that a lot of money that the Republican Party of Florida is spending should be going or could be going to other campaigns. My question to you is this: looking forward to the general election, would you, if you win, if you become the nominee for the Republican Party of Florida, would you reach out and work with the RPOF and work with other campaigns, be it state or congressional, to help them win their races?
Well, clearly, I'm going to win. I mean, so it's a win, I'm going to win. But look what the RPOF has done. They spent $4 million helping my opponent in a primary. They're down to, I think, $56,000 now. So they should have been saving that money, helping Marco Rubio, helping other candidates across the state, make sure we have the House and the Senate and other congressional candidates. They're wasting this money in a primary attack. Look, they're spending the money attacking a business person that believes in the principles of the Republican Party, is a member of the Republican Party.
A fellow Republican.
Yeah, a fellow Republican. What are they doing? What it shows you is the Republican Party right now is controlled by special interest. We have got to change this. We have got to take our party back. We've got to take our state back for the benefit of taxpayers and for the benefit of families. So when I win, I will rally the Republican Party. I will change the Republican Party to make sure it comes back to the grassroots, to activists, to people that really believe in the principles of the Republican Party and don't believe in special interests controlling our party.
On that note, majority of Floridians, Republican Floridians, they want a so-called cleaning house of the Republican Party. If you win, or as you say, when you win, you're going to become the de facto head of the Republican Party of Florida, and as let alone the governor of the state of Florida. Will you help bring upon this house cleaning of the so-called good old boy network within the party?
We have to. I mean, for the benefit of all the people that, all the good Republicans that believe in limited government, fiscal responsibility, taking care of Floridians rather than taking care of special interests, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to upset the apple cart. And that's why the establishment's scared to death, because, they've done fine with, the status quo. They want my opponent, who they know they own. I mean, look at U.S. Sugar giving him $1 million. You know, Florida Power and Light, when they had an issue with him recently, then they wrote him a check for $250,000. This stuff has got to stop. We're ruining the Republican Party and we're hurting the state of Florida. We have got to worry about Floridians rather than special interests.
And on another more positive note, a lot of people are asking, is job creation the biggest issue this year? You've proposed your 777 plan. Any other new additions to that, or you're sticking to your 777 plan?
Well, my plan has been very well received. It's 7 steps to 700,000 jobs over 7 years. You start by running the state the way you have to run a house, run a business. What you do is you step back. Look, we're in a recession. You step back. How do we spend our money? Well, if you make less money, you set your priorities. Go back, look at your priorities. Say, do I need to do that anymore? We ought to be doing the same thing with state government. There's been programs there that won't make any sense in today's environment. We've got to stop those programs. We've got to figure out the best programs. Figure out how we can find best practices. You've got to have a governor that knows how to create jobs, knows how to talk to business people, knows how to get business people to move to our state so we get more jobs in the state. We've got to look at regulation. Travel to the state. Every business in this state says there's too much regulation. It doesn't make sense for consumers. There's delays, uncertainty. There's paperwork that they have no idea where it goes. No one's responsive. Why do you have to go get approvals from 3 and 4 agencies? Local, state, federal. It makes no sense. We're just killing jobs in this state. So I'm going to change this state. I'm going to drive down property tax rates by 19%. I'm going to phase out the business tax. When I finish my first term, we are going to be the #1 state for job creation. When people say they want to do business in the United States, they're going to say the place you do business is Florida.